Hi, I'm John and welcome to the Jigsaw Puzzler. Today is a very special puzzle. One of my personal favourites. I purchased it recently, brand new. I was so excited to get this puzzle. It is a Ravensburger puzzle, 1,000 pieces. It's called Family Portrait and it is a branded puzzle for Asterix. Asterix and Obelix, a very famous comic book series created by Gaulish and Uzo, some Belgian artists during the 20th century, and they produced a series of comic books which are very, very famous around these characters. The two main characters are Asterix and Obelix. They belong to a small Gaulish village that during the time of the Roman Empire and Roman expansion into Gaul, which is now France. I have one of the books here. This is an omnibus edition of 3 of the Asterix stories in it, and I think the best way to get into this puzzle is to have a look at the start of the story. Each of the books starts in exactly the same way. It starts with a map of Gaul, the Roman conquest in 50 BC by Julius Caesar, and it shows the map with the Roman standard planted in Gaul, and a magnifying glass with this tiny little village in the corner of Amorica with 4 Roman camps around it. This is the Gaulish village and the camps of Aquarium, Totorum, Laudanum and Compendium. And the bottom of the page says this: the year is 50 BC. Gaul is entirely occupied by the Romans. Well, not entirely. One small village of indomitable Gauls still holds out against the invaders. And life is not easy for the Roman legionaries who garrison the fortified camps of Totorum, Aquarium, Laudanum and Compendium. And what follows in each story is a series of wonderful adventures and lots of mayhem and lots of fighting between the residents of this tiny village and the Roman would-be conquerors. The Gauls themselves end up victorious in each case. They end up travelling far distances across the Roman Empire. They meet Julius Caesar, they meet Cleopatra, they fight the Goths, they meet the Mongols, all sorts of adventures to be had in the Roman Empire with the Gauls. The Romans cannot conquer their tiny little village, no matter how much artillery and mercenaries and fighting troops they throw at it. And the secret is that the Gauls have a magic potion which gives them incredible strength. Asterix is the hero of the stories. He's a small, very diminutive Gaulish warrior, and his best friend Obelix, who fell into a cauldron of the magic potion as a baby, so he is permanently has permanent superhuman strength, but is miffed every single time he has to miss out on having another dose of the magic potion. But the two of them together go off on all these crazy and unbelievable adventures. Everything about them, about the stories, is funny. All the names are puns. In every language that these stories were translated to, and they were originally written in French, every detail has been taken care with the translation to try to maximise the humour that was in the original. So all the names are puns. All of the people that they encounter, including the Gauls themselves, are completely exaggerated stereotypes. The Romans are exaggerated, the Egyptians are exaggerated, the Goths are exaggerated, the Gauls themselves are exaggerated stereotypes of those peoples. And it makes for crazy mayhem and loads of fun to read. All right, so the cartoon itself, this one here on the puzzle, is called Family Portrait, and it is basically an illustration showing some bleachers made out of sticks and tied together, set up so that all of the major characters of the story can come together and have a giant portrait photograph. much like a school photograph that I know of. Tiered rows where people are sitting in rows, and you get this mass portrait, maybe of a year group at a school or some such thing. But they're going to have this family portrait, and it includes characters from all across the stories. Across the front row, we have some of the really, really main characters, including members of the Gaulish village. So from the left, we have the fishmonger Unhygienix and his wife Bacteria. We have Cacophonix the bard, who every time he goes to sing a song of celebration, usually the stories end up with some sort of feast, and Cacophonix is tied up under a tree with a gag around his mouth to prevent him from singing, because his singing is truly awful. Then we have the ironmonger, fully automatics. We have the chief, vital statistics, and his wife, Impedimenta. We have Obelix with a stack of Roman helmets. We have Asterix and his dog, Dogmatics, bouncing around in front of him. We have the druid, Getafix. He's responsible for collecting the ingredients to create the magic potion. Then we have Julius Caesar and Cleopatra, and Cleopatra's baby in between. We have a very old Gaul called Geriatrix, and his wife, who is never named in the stories, and that was deliberate to give her an air of mystery. But she is a much, much younger wife than the very ancient Geriatrix. And then in rows behind, we have loads and loads of characters. We have Roman senators, we have centurions and Roman guards, we have Africans, we have Vikings or Nordics people, we have the Goths, we have there's a couple of Egyptians here, there's a magician over here, people from all sorts of places that were either inside the Roman Empire or immediately adjacent to it, that Asterix and Obelix and the Gaulish villagers may have encountered in one way or another. Over at the side here, coming in to join them in the picture, is a small group of people, a very tall and large African with a smaller Gaulish man and another man there. These are all holding pieces of broken timber. These are the totally hapless pirates that the Gauls encounter, not in every story, but in quite a lot of the stories. And every single time they encounter the Gauls, their ship gets smashed to pieces. And so they are completely wary of the Gaulish villagers. Yet they continue to raid the Roman coast. So we have the pirates coming in there as well. The setting here is the Gaulish village itself. The thatch roof houses, the stone chimneys, this house here, which I think is Cacophonix's house, up on in a tree, and a scarecrow made covered with Roman armour to decorate it. But all sorts of people here. I haven't counted them. There are a lot of characters here. This is an exceptionally busy puzzle. Many busy puzzles that I've done a lot, don't quite have so many faces all packed in together. I think this is probably one of the busiest sections of puzzle I have ever encountered. So that's a bit of a look over the puzzle and a bit about the content. Now, what about the quality? Well, it's Ravensburger, and as we expect, it's excellent quality. This one is a slightly, and I only mean very slightly, looser fit than some other Ravensburger puzzles. But it fits together very nicely. It has a lovely matte finish, nice to the touch, and it probably could be picked up in its entirety, but as I said, it is a little bit loose. Ribbon cut with a variety of piece shapes, and that really does help with some of the more difficult parts of the puzzle. And I have to say that the people in this, the family portrait, are the difficult part of the puzzle. There's no way anything like the sky is the hard part on this one. So how did I do a puzzle like this? Well, I was so excited when this came in the mail. I was really, really looking forward to it. And when I opened the box and tipped it all out into the sorting trays, I did what I do normally, and that is pull out all the edge pieces and start to create piles of things that I think I could tackle pretty much first up. So I had really got in my head that the family portrait of characters was going to be the last bit that I did. So I was going to attempt to do everything else around it so that I was only left with the people in the box. And that's what I did. I pulled out the edges. I pulled out anything that had the sky on it. Now, and I sorted those into two different piles. I had plain blue sky and I had sky plus something. So sky plus something might mean part of this tree or the branches and leaves. It might mean part of the cloud, the edge of the cloud, or the chimney, or the roof of this house, or the tree, or this house on stilts, the scarecrow, or this one here, so that I could put it together and create essentially a dividing line right across the puzzle to section off the sky. I pulled out greenery, which was mostly green trees. Now, a lot of the characters are wearing green, and you can tell up close which greens belong to people and which ones belong to the grass and the trees. So I did start to separate those out as well. And so I thought I'm going to do those. And this chimney, this stone chimney, actually the two stone chimneys are very, very distinctive texturally, and they popped out quite quickly. So I went about doing that, and I did piece the edge together first because I wanted to know something about the dimensions of it and how close things were to each other. I just feel like having a frame there contains the picture and allows you to position things more accurately. I think I tend to spread them out and further away from each other if I don't do the frame first. So I did that, and then I started working on piecing these bits together, the roofs, because there's three sections here with the thatched roofs, and this cloud and the two chimneys. So they all came together quite well. I did them down here and then started to kind of shuffle them into place, and eventually they started to meet up because as I added more pieces on there, it joined onto the next section. Then what I thought I'd do is I actually took I took the ground pieces, I did the green down low, I did some of the trees, and then I thought I'd take all those blue sky pieces and I put them outside the puzzle so I could position everything in place, and worked on the bottom section here. Now there's a lot of browns and brownish yellows, sort of golden brown yellow colours in this puzzle, but some of the textures are a little bit different. So down here you can tell by what else is on the piece that it belongs to the bottom of the puzzle and does not belong to the roofs of the houses. So piece by piece I managed to pull out those sections and these ones and kind of do either side of the family portrait. Then I took all of the blue pieces, put them in a sorting tray of its own, and just went through and filled in all the blank spaces. And to be honest, that did not take a very long time. A couple of things helped there. The gradation of colour from pale to dark, and also the variety of piece shapes meant that only certain pieces could go in certain spaces. I did the entire cloud, the white section of the cloud here, because that was quite distinctive. And then pretty much was left with the family portrait. There are a few miscellaneous items, this scarecrow, there's a shield and a couple of spears, the timber structure of the house here, and a boy with a slingshot over here. But on the whole, we're left with the family portrait. For that, I started at the bottom. Now, if you look closely at it, you'll see that they're sitting on bleachers, rows of seating. And you can really only see the first three rows of the actual benches. Most of the front bench, some of the second bench, and a small bit of the third bench. And so I looked for any pieces that had bench on them and I pulled those out and tried to figure out where they went along the bench. I had most of the feet because they joined onto this bottom section here, so that gave me the positions of the characters above them. From there, it was simply a matter of pulling out pieces of a similar colour or texture. I pulled out all the pink and purple pieces. There's not a lot of pink and purple, just little snatches of it here and there, and just got those together. I pulled out the gold of the Roman breastplates of the armour. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a bit of those. So I pulled those in a pile and started to piece together armour. And by doing this, I'm just grabbing the bits and pieces to start to put them into place. And then there was a lot of consultation of the picture to figure out where each piece was. There are so many faces on this puzzle that honestly, it is actually hard to stare at the puzzle and figure out where something goes. I ended up looking not at the faces, but at the colours of their clothing and the adjoining areas around them to see if I can match the reds together, the blues together, the whites together. And just chipped away until right towards the end, I did a piece sort and just went by piece shape. Rather than staring at faces and trying to work out which way was up on a piece, I just sorted by shape. This is a really satisfying puzzle to do, despite its challenges and the difficulty actually of this section. I love Asterix and I loved doing this puzzle. I'm really, really pleased that I found it for sale here in Australia and was able to pick it up for a fairly reasonable price without overloading the shipping costs, having to import it from Germany or something. Anyway, a really satisfying puzzle. If you love Asterix, you'll love this puzzle. We are going to have a time lapse. So if you'd like to click like, subscribe and share my channel with your puzzling friends, that would be wonderful. Please leave comments below and on with the time lapse, and thank you for watching.